This is a full breakdown of the proposed Washington Township Board of Education budget for fiscal year 2026 to 2027. We'll cover where every dollar goes, what it means for your property taxes, and when you can have your say. Before we dive in, there's something important to flag. The document we were given for this video isn't actually a budget report. It's a meeting agenda listing topics like the board secretary's report and the bills list, but none of the underlying numbers. That means we can't responsibly report a total budget figure, a tax levy amount, or a year-over-year change, because those numbers simply aren't in front of us. We'll walk through what we do know, and what's still needed to complete this picture. This particular meeting is what's called a regular session, held on July 28, 2026. It includes standard monthly finance items like the board secretary's report, the treasurer's report, account transfers, and a bills list. Importantly, in New Jersey, school budgets are typically adopted back in the spring, months before the new fiscal year begins. So this July meeting is routine financial housekeeping, not the actual budget vote. One section worth watching is Human Resources, where the agenda references staff appointments, resignations, retirements, and even salary adjustment corrections. In most school district budgets, salaries and benefits make up the largest single expense category. But without dollar amounts attached to these personnel actions, we can't tell you how they affect overall spending this year. The agenda does mention something called a resolution for requisition for taxes. In plain terms, this is the formal step where the district requests its tax levy. That's the portion of the budget paid for directly by local property taxes. Unfortunately, the specific dollar amount being requested isn't listed anywhere in this document, so we can't report what residents are actually being asked to fund. There's also a listed interlocal agreement with Washington Township on this agenda. Agreements like this often involve shared services or cost sharing between local government bodies, which can have budget implications either way. But again, the agenda doesn't spell out any financial terms, so it's not possible to say whether this saves money, costs money, or by how much. Normally, this is where we tell you exactly how much more or less the average homeowner might pay this year. But that calculation depends on the total tax levy and the average assessed home value in the district, and neither number appears in this agenda. Rather than guess, we're being upfront that this figure isn't available yet from the source material. Also on the agenda is a discussion of the 2026 to 2027 district calendar. This affects things like the school year schedule and planning, but it's a separate matter from the budget itself and doesn't carry direct dollar figures we can report on. To give you the full budget picture, we'd need a few specific documents: the state-mandated user-friendly budget summary, the actual board secretary's and treasurer's financial reports, and the record from when this budget was originally adopted, likely back in the spring. Once those are available, we can put real numbers behind this story. As for a vote or public hearing timeline, this document only confirms one date: the regular session on July 28, 2026. Since New Jersey school budgets are usually adopted months earlier, in the spring the actual public hearing for this budget likely already took place. That record simply wasn't included in what we have to work with. If you want to weigh in or learn more, the next opportunity is the regular session on July 28, 2026, where public comment is typically welcomed at board meetings. We'd also encourage residents to reach out to the district directly for the actual budget adoption documents and hearing records, so the real numbers behind this year's spending can be reviewed and discussed. That's the full budget breakdown. The complete written deep dive is available free at New Jersey Washington Town GTL, substack.com. Subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you find this useful, a small donation at ko-fi.com/govthrleen helps keep this reporting free and independent.